Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your masculine, feminine, and non-binary energy update for today, Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? We are going to be starting right now with masculine energy. We are going to be utilizing the Aquarian Tarot deck, Italian version. Can I please get 3 cards? Whoa, really? Transverse? Okay. 3 cards, transverse, masculine headspace. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This retrograde cycle is often the thing I need to kind of stress about this retrograde cycle that we're currently experiencing is I want to describe it. The best way I can explain this energy is working through the easing up of preconceptions is the best way I can describe it. Now the thing about it is when we're working through preconceptions, it often can feel somewhat mind-bending is kind of the best way that is also the best way I can describe it, because the thing about preconceptions, and we're just going to kind of like it's real, like, and retrograde cycles do this a lot, right? It's like just taking it's like looking at something and then seeing an assumption point, like going back in something, looking at something that you assumed, and then just having to take like an erase, like just having to go like, oh wait, it's having to kind of go back in terms of something and recognizing where a preconception lives is what I keep on seeing. And the thing about it is, and here's the thing about it. This is why I have to stress, this is why it's beautiful. Remember how I said that, we're talking about healing from the misconceptions of humility, understanding that humility does not mean embarrassment. Humility means the ability to recognize and understand that the process of learning is one that is often the space by which we're able to see something more, right? And that's what's so beautiful about it, because that ability of being able to energetically adapt, like that ability of being able to, like, you can't have expansion without the recognition of being able to see something in a way that you haven't seen it before. So you have to allow for that space by which one is able to kind of reconsider things. And what's beautiful about that is, I keep on hearing like a mind that bends doesn't energetically break, right? The flexibility point by which we're able to understand something, like, and that's what's funny about it. We often call breakthroughs, but they're not breakthroughs. Like it's like, it's not a breakthrough. It's the moment by which one changes one's own point of view, right? It's almost like the modality or the experience by which one is able to kind of like see something in a different way. So there's a lot of that force, or there's a lot of that space by which I keep on seeing, like the space by which, like, I keep on hearing, like, it's almost like the different point of view that allows something to kind of come into focus in a better way. So for a lot of the energy of masculine kind of doing that work, I feel like in the space of relationship, I feel like a lot of that is potentially having some kind of like working through the perception of the counterpart, right? It's building into that context. It's building into that ability of perceiving. So I feel like there's something very empathetic and perceptual that's happening right now for masculine energy. But I keep on getting, it's also energetically frustrating. Like there's also, like, I keep on getting this, like there's a lot of the work that's kind of happening in that experience, because, and I need to stress this, don't get frustrated. Channel the frustration into something that feels energetically productive. Now let's get into feminine energy. For feminine energy right now, we are going to be utilizing the Circe Tarot. Can I please have 3 cards for feminine headspace? Again, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Woof. Yeah, that's right. We've also got, so we've got the death card. We've got the, I gotta point out, I just gotta show this. I gotta show this to you. Like, I gotta show you this too. Because I gotta say, like, the Circe Tarot deck has, like, the most ominous death card ever. It's like, boo! Look at this. But I like it too, because, like, here's the thing about it. I feel like, here's the funny thing with it. It's like feminine is navigating boo energy. Like, I need to point this out. This has been happening ever since Pluto. This has been happening ever since, like, Pluto station direct. Because I like to put, like, the thing is, and this is the thing that I think is a little bit energetically amusing right now. Pluto is direct, but so is Venus. And so it's like Pluto's direct, so's Venus, and so's Mars. So it's like a little bit of that energy. Like, I feel like this is feminine, like, working through, and this is what happens. Like, this is what happens when feminine energy navigates, like, and I need to point this out, like, when feminine energy has reached, like, has like, is when feminine energy, like, and I love this about feminine energy. When feminine energy reaches their limits on something, there's, like, it's not about, you can't, it's almost like, it's like feminine looking at boo energy and being like, boo yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's a lot of that. Like, I just need to describe it. And I feel like, again, it's like ominous. You know, here's the thing. The energy's just ominous right now. But the thing is, like, when you recognize that the energy's just ominous, you're just like, dum dum. Like, you just kind of move through it. You're like, it's just like, it's the retrograde. Of course it feels ominous with the energy that we kind of have surrounding things right now. And so I feel like the thing about it, and I need to kind of stress this, because even as I did this, there was another card here that was, like, to the side. And I feel like, I'm just going to put this one here because I feel like that's a unifier for all of the cards, and we're just going to hold on to that for later. But the thing about it, and I feel like that's, like, the thing about, like, and I keep, this is what I'm getting right now. And I'm just going to walk you through this for feminine. I see this feminine energy, like, working into, like, the space by which they're, like, navigating in relationality to where they're, like, energetically staying, by, like, taking the temperature of the ominousness in spaces, like, walking into place, being, like, really ominous, being like, I'm going to put a pin on this and come back later. When you're in a bed, it's like walking. It's like circumventing. It's like energetically circumventing ominousness. But I keep on hearing sometimes, but I need to point this out. When we energetically circumvent ominous energy, we give things space, which is recognizing, it's like reading the vibe. Like feminine being like, I'm going to go over here now. So there's a little bit of that type of energy that's happening right now as well. And I need to stress this. And I've been saying this right now. There are moments and there are modalities by which the energy is in alignment. That is not happening right now. So before you bring each other, I keep on hearing, like, before you bring each other new problems, ask each other if you have a minute, is what I keep on getting. Because there's really, like, I feel like there's something very important that's happening right now, particularly and especially in relationality to working through, I keep on like working through the frustration of this retrograde. And the one thing I keep on noticing right now is feminine is moving through right now in the space by which there's much more pragmatism occurring. Masculine, there's much more inner child healing. And the thing with, like, I need to point this out, like, the thing with inner child healing is the modality. It's like you have to go inward in order to kind of work through inner child healing. And so I want you to kind of understand that, because there's something very significant that's happening right now in understanding, like, the gift we give each other is what I keep hearing. The gift we give each other is what we need It's not, I keep on, the gift we give each other is what we need, but not like the space by which we assume that another is in the same modality as what we need, right? So I keep on hearing, like, make sure that you're energetically putting that point of consideration towards things is what I keep on saying. Now, for the non-binary energy, we're going to be utilizing the Tarot of the Divine today. Whoa! Okay, hold on. Transverse transverse temperance card. Transverse temperance card. And it's funny. I just need to point this out. I love it because the temperance card has the card like landed on my knee. But the thing about it is, the thing that I keep on seeing right now, for non-binary energy, is potentially working through situations where, I'm going to draw the other two cards here. So we've got the Temperance card in its transverse versus the Nine of Swords in its reversal and the Magician in its reversal. So I'm seeing that for a lot of the non-binary, and I think that one of the things I'm seeing right now for a lot of non-binary energy is, and I feel like I keep on hearing this, trying to build into relationship that's not based upon explanation. Not feeling the modality or the experience by which another person effectively needs to energetically articulate the experience. I keep on hearing like the the journey of being known is energetically difficult, and I keep on seeing like I feel like and it's interesting too, because I feel like there's something about non-binary energy right now really working through the process of composure. And the reason I keep on getting the space by which one is working through composure is, it's almost like trying to help someone else through something that you went through a long time ago, is what I keep on seeing. But that's the thing about it. Like I keep on seeing like that's a little bit of the frustration point that I'm kind of seeing with some energy and relationality to relationship, which is not like, I feel like there's a desire or an ability to connect with someone in the present, not to effectively feel like one is in connection with like a journey of the past, is what I keep on seeing. And I feel like there's something about that there that feels, it feels hard, is what I keep on getting. And I keep on getting and I keep on getting that there's something in that modality by which, like allowing, like it's almost like allowing the space by which one, like the allowing the space by which one feels out of place is often it's often the space by which one often, it's often the space by which one often feels isolated. But then and it's like there's a unique type of isolation that feels like other energy around you is playing catch up. And so I keep on seeing, like, it's interesting because I keep on hearing the non-binary energy getting frustrating and feeling like they constantly have to muster the strength for others to catch up, is what I keep on hearing. So like there's a little bit of that space there by which I feel like there's some kind of conversation that's happening in relationality to that. But I keep on seeing that it's almost the energy that recognizes that that's occurring, and for that reason they're trying to effectively slow something down, is what I keep on getting. The life-changing power of slowing your roll is what I keep on hearing. But not, I keep on hearing like slowing your roll is like helping another person understand something. Moving back into the heart space of masculine energy right now. Can I get 3 cards to clarify? Clarification coming through right now. Clarification coming through right now. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, we got the 10 of Swords in its upright. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in its reversal. And we've got the Hierophant in its reversal. You know that they but like the thing I like to point out, like I just like to, so the thing I keep on seeing in relationality right now to masculine energy, like how do I describe this best? So I feel like masculine energy's heart space right now is, I keep on seeing it's working through the energetic frustration in relationality to, I feel like I gotta stress this right now. There's something I'm seeing for masculine energy that feels like, and this is often what happens when we're going through inner child healing. I gotta tell you this, like the thing I keep on seeing is the wound, like when we start going through inner child healing, the wounded child comes comes forward first, right? It's the energy that often, like the energy that often works upon the I keep wondering, the energy that often works upon the feeling of the frustration in relationality to the difficult, like the difficulty of circumstances or situations, or working through or facilitating upon something in such a way that I keep on getting that it almost requires, like it requires that modality, or it requires that mentality by which we effectively articulate upon how we feel. And so I feel like there's something important in relationality to that. And I keep on seeing, and this is something that we have to recognize. And I feel like there's something important about this too. Not all, not, we don't always feel the need, like, we don't always feel the need to talk about how we're feeling. And I feel like this is often something that is evasive for energy to understand, particularly around masculine energy. When you're in a rut, the last thing you feel like doing is articulating upon a rut. Because when you feel like you're going through a rut and then you're trying to articulate upon it, it puts you into a further rut. You know, it doesn't allow, it's like it doesn't allow the ability to kind of move beyond something. And I feel like this is what I mean in relationality to relationship right now is, you know, and we got to talk about this. And it has to do with the space by which someone says it's good to talk about it. And this is why it's not necessarily always great to talk about things, because there's a very fine line between talking about something and dwelling on something. Okay? There's a very fine line between talking about something and dwelling on something. And what is the difference between talking about something and dwelling upon something? Talking about something allows for something progressive to occur, right? It's like the ability by which you articulate and define something in order for it to be facilitated and worked out upon. But when you dwell upon something, it can often feel like you're just going over something again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And so I feel like the space by which, and this is why, like, and this is why I keep on seeing, like, if there's masculine energy that is going through inner child healing, it's not necessarily something that the masculine potentially wants to effectively talk about, because I keep on seeing that for some of the energy, it's not the space by which talking about it effectively eases it. It might even feel like talking about it makes it feel worse, is what I keep on seeing. We'll kind of move through that to a certain extent, because and I feel like it has like, but I need also, and we also need to see this too, because I keep on hearing, but this is also what happens when we're doing inner child healing. So you have to understand that inner child healing is often the work of understanding that a need met, a need expressed is a need met. I feel like you need, if masculine energy is, make sure you write that down, because literally, like, often this is what happens when we're doing inner child healing. It's understanding that often the pain that happens with inner child healing is not having the words to express something and then not having the need met, but recognizing that when we reach a space by which we can articulate upon it, then I keep on the space by which we can articulate upon it, that's how we overcome it, because it's healing from the energy of the inner child, the wounded inner child that did not know how to express what was missing. Now, for feminine energy, can I please get 3 cards? And again, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the Hanged Man, and we've got the King of Wands in its upright. So for a lot of the energy right now, I keep on getting for a lot of the feminine energy right now, this is what I keep on hearing. Like, a lot of the feminine energy is just working right now. And I keep on, and this is what I meant. This is what I'm talking about, because I keep on reading for feminine right now, and they're in a very, very pragmatic state. And what do we see? Like, what do we see when there's feminine energy in a state of pragmatism? Pragmatism is not potentially getting, like, I feel like there's like, it's working into the context of trying to identify, and in this way it's very similar, right? The emotions that make sense are the emotions that provide direction, is what I keep on hearing. There's no point in energetically dwelling on something. The emotions that make sense are the emotions that provide direction. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the feminine energy, kind of like working through, I keep wondering, like, working through like energetic hurdles. And then, like, I keep on hearing and I keep on getting this, like, feeling energetically frustrated upon something, but then just, I keep on hearing, like, working to smooth something out. It's a lot of moving on type of energy. And so that's what I keep on, like, the thing about it, and I just want to point this out, masculine is doing that internally right now, right? Feminine is doing it externally. So understanding that you're both, like, that you're going through the same things, but you have different ways of going through it. That's what's going to effectively allow for that state of healing right now. Because I'll tell you right now, don't come into, like, and I keep on getting, like, don't come into the preconception, like, don't come into the preconception in relationality to the space that another person isn't feeling the way that you do. I keep on getting, remember, we can be feeling the same things and having different ways of navigating through that feeling. So, and I feel like it's interesting because I see masculine, like, working more on being empathetic to themselves and articulating upon, like, I keep on hearing, a need expressed is a need met, right? Boom, there's the inner child healing happening. So potentially, like, a lot of that difficulty, and that's the thing that I keep on seeing, a lot of that difficulty in the masculine bringing forth that need, right? Feminine feeling, and do you see how this could potentially create a little bit of a perfect storm energy? Feminine already feeling somewhat stretched thin because they're in this at the heart of pragmatism. And then at the moment that masculine is working on finally articulating their needs, feminine is hyper busy. So the ability of making sure that they're finding that energetic meeting point, we're going to talk about that here. Now, non-binary energy is working through all of this right now. In the heart space of non-binary energy, we've got the Two of Swords in its reversal. We've got the Knight of Coins, and we've also got the Ten of Swords in its upright. Now, the one thing I want to, and I need to stress, okay, so this is really interesting. Because, and the reason that this is coming up, and it's coming up as soon as I started reading for non-binary energy, I realized that I didn't tell you guys the cards in the headspace of masculine. I laid them out, but I didn't say them. So the cards that we see there are the Fante de Cup, the two of Pentacles in its transverse, and the Ace of Cups. Now, the thing about, the thing about this particular, like the thing about this particular reading is the fact that I keep on seeing that this is almost like the understanding of a lot of non-binary energy, feeling the need to be able to intuit into others' emotions for the sake of like effectively energetically like surviving is what I keep on getting. That for a lot of that energy, this is why I keep on hearing like this is why that energy works so hard in relationality to working through circumstances and situations by which I keep on seeing like they can't give someone confidence to know themselves. And what I keep on seeing is, and I feel like that's what's difficult. And this is why I see that this energy is very, like works very like conscientiously towards coming into partnership, because I just see that for a lot of that energy, that ability of I keep on hearing like the energy almost articulates and says to one another, know thyself, because the reason they say know yourself is because when they understand that when we know ourselves, we don't come to relationships seeking answers about ourselves, is what I keep on hearing. And I feel like that is the level or degree of the healing that a lot of this energy is navigating, being like the space by which we say the relationship should not serve as a lesson. It shouldn't serve as a place where another person learns about themselves. Because often when another person is utilizing relationship to learn about themselves, they don't recognize the fact that they're hurting the energy that they're in counterpart connection with, right? The ability and the capacity to identify and to know ourselves effectively articulates and allows us to be able to build into relationship of mutual learning, right? The growth, the adaptability point, or the growth of a relationship that is articulated upon the understanding of the self. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, it's almost it's working through energetic conditions by which I keep on hearing I keep on hearing conversation, conversation, conversation. And I feel like I feel like it's almost like there's something frustrating there, because like for a lot of the energy, I keep on seeing that like when we are unique, or when we're working through energetic uniqueness, perfect case in point, there's something upon the characterization. It's funny, this word was coming through yesterday, the last reading too. The characterization of the self, where another person doesn't see you for the self, but almost tokenizes you for something that they're healing from. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like working through those relationship cycles, I almost feel like it's a deep conversation upon discernment, or why they like, if somebody says like, why are you so discerning? Someone being like, well, how much time you got? Is what I keep on hearing in the energy going, how much time you got? Let me, like when someone says, why are you so discerning? Somebody else saying, well, let me tell you a little story about it, is what I keep on hearing. Continuing to get clarification. Moving back into the masculine energy's unconscious space right now. 1, 2 more, please. 2, and 1 more, please. 3, thank you. We've got, yes. Okay. We've got the 7 of Pentacles in its reversal, the King of Pentacles in its reversal, and we've got Temperance. I mean, the Empress in its reversal. Now, this is really interesting, because what we're effectively identifying right now, specifically in the modality of masculine energy, is I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like a lot of the energy working through path, like masculine energy right now is building upon the space by which, and I keep on seeing this, like the space by which we are able to articulate or define like I need to stress this, these retrograde cycles can often make us feel like they can often make us feel like not a lot is happening, is what I keep on getting. It's like working through energetic quietude. It's working through a lot of that. I keep wondering, it's working through a lot of that energy that often feels, I keep on getting like it feels oppressive or it feels energetically heavy. There's a lot of that stillness. And the thing I keep on getting is the point, the thing you have to, it's very easy. And I need to kind of stress this. Everybody is going, I need you to recognize, I want you to entertain the possibility that everybody is going through it during these retrograde cycles, right? Everybody's going through it. Everybody is like rushing through things. Like everybody feels like there's a lot to do, not enough time to do it, but also that nothing is energetically happening. And so it creates, like, I feel like it can mess with one's own headspace, right? It can feel like we often have to deal, I like to describe this, we often have to deal with solemn energy during retrogrades periods like this because it can often feel very oppressive and quiet. Now, when we've done the work to heal quietude within ourselves, right, then quiet becomes nice. Like it doesn't feel ominous. But the thing is, when we've gone through a lot of trauma and then we've got retrograde energy coming in with all of its solemn energy, it can really mess with you. Right? It can really mess with you. It can really kind of get, it's like you can hear a pin drop. But the thing is, it often, because I need to stress this, when you're from a highly traumatized environment, quiet creates anxiety instead of exaltation, right? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel peaceful. It feels energetically oppressive. So there's something, I feel like there's something about navigating this right now and I feel like that's why often, right, when we feel like a lot of that energetic density in retrograde cycles like this, what's the first thing that comes popping up to the surface? Oh, goody, here comes the trauma, right? Oh, goody, here comes that thing. Here comes that, hey, remember this? Remember this? It's like you get a lot of those emotions, right? You get a lot of those emotions from the past that sometimes come rising back up. So our ability, and I keep on hearing, observe, don't absorb, right? Like this is what we talk about when we're talking about doing shadow work. And reminder that shadow work isn't some like woo. It's just it's just going through our tendencies, right? Being like, oh, when was the last time I felt like this? Oh, that's why I bear a connection to it, right? Because unfortunately, I keep on getting sometimes solemnity feels very akin to catharsis. So what happens is we often experience heavy energy like this density point, and where does your mind rush back to? It reminds you back to that moment that you first felt catharsis. And unfortunately, the first time you usually feel catharsis is when you're energetically recovering from something. So that's why often these retrograde periods can bring up a lot of these feelings. So, allow that feeling to bring you into a space of healing, right? Allow it. I keep wondering, like allowing it to bring you into a space of healing can effectively identify and recognize and come into that modality of observation and can allow, I keep on hearing allowing the quietude to effectively feel energetically sacred. And again, and I feel like it's interesting. I do feel like a lot of the masculine energy is doing a lot of work in healing their potentially their sacral chakra right now. Continuing to get clarification. Bottom unconscious space of feminine right now. Can I get 3 cards, please? Ooh, there's this Hermit card does not. Hermit card in its reversal, Hierophant in its reversal, 4 of Pentacles in its reversal. Here's the thing, and I gotta tell you, it's not so much. I feel like the thing that's happening right now for feminine, and this is what I meant about the energies being in very different places. Again, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Feminine is working through Feminine is working through absolute energetic frustration because this is I keep on hearing feminine is healing. Feminine is healing the wound of pragmatism. And the wound of pragmatism is for feminine, the feeling. And this is the frustration point that comes through with feminine. Feminine could literally be in a space by which they could be doing everything for everyone. Feminine could literally be in the space by which they are doing everything for everyone. And what will the energy articulate the problem is? They're not doting enough. Right? It's like the feminine could literally be in a space by which they can be doing everything. And then even in the space by which they're doing everything, there will be energy that will find grievance because they'll be like, you're really not doting enough upon something. And this is what feminine is doing. Feminine is working on, like, that's what I mean by which the feminine is just like leaning into the pragmatism and saying, I keep on hearing, if that is the complaint, goody, is what I keep on hearing. It's like the feminine that says, if that is the complaint, wonderful, because that is an egoic journey, right? That is somebody going through an egoic journey. That is someone literally going into the space of being like, and I feel like it's like the energy of the feminine being like, it's not even the fact, like, it's not even feminine going through the journey of saying you can please all of the people some of the time or one person all of the time, but you can't please both. This is what we mean. You can get in the space by which you're literally doing everything, but somebody will be upset with you because you're not doting enough upon them. And that's what I keep on seeing the feminine potentially working through. Do you see right now, though, do you see the energetic elevation that's occurring? Do you see the modality of masculine working through those inner child wounds? Do you see the feminine working through a lot of that pragmatic energy? So we see that the ability, how do they heal each other right now? Moon energy, right? Healthy reflection. I told you we're going through moon lessons right now, and understanding that the beauty of moon lessons is understanding that we don't always have to be in the same modality to be in alignment. We just need to recognize what's going on in there. Right? Be like, oh, stay, like, oh, no, don't go. They're doing something else. You just let them, you let them do their thing. I'll be over here. We're in very different energetic cycles right now, right? It's just allowing for a bit of that to occur. Now let's move into bottom of the deck right now let's move into unconscious space for non-binary energy. 3 cards, please. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Really? Hold on. Okay, so we're going to take these 3. We're going to put them over here because those aren't the cards. These are the cards down here. Oh my gosh. Hold on a minute. Extra. Okay. 1 second. Hold on a minute. What do we got? All right, so I feel like for a lot of energy right now, and this is for, how do I describe this? For a lot of, there's a lot of energy right now I see is in this space by which they're trying to articulate their vision on things. And the hard thing, like the hard thing with the ability to articulate, the hard thing about articulating upon a vision is that, like, I keep on getting there's I feel like, how do I describe this best? And this is exactly what I mean. Do you see how immediately, like the minute that the minute that I went to try to explain like what's going on in the space of the unconscious non-binary, like the non-binary unconscious energy, is understanding the shape by which another person doesn't understand the self, is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on hearing it's not the fact that we ever understand ourselves completely, but this is what I keep on seeing. Even and this is what I keep on hearing, like this is literally non-binary energy trying to do work to assess if another person has done their shadow work, right? Because it's very important that I see the fact that when I went to go redo these cards, these came out very easily, and they were all but like not showing their faces. But then all of the bottom of the deck cards for non-binary were just there. They were just on the ground and they were open, right? And this is what we keep on getting. I feel like there's a lot of the energy. It's interesting because I feel like non-binary energy is working through the difference between weird and creepy. And what is the difference between weird and creepy? It's okay to be weird as long as you own your weirdness. Your weird is nothing to be feared so long as you know what it is. It's beautiful. It's like a gift. You become unique, right? You tell other people about it. You're able to have some interesting, like have some interesting conversations about it, right? The ability by which one is able to kind of articulate and understand the self is the exploration of the self. That is the and I keep on hearing like one's own ability to understand oneself is directly proportional by how comfortable you are to effectively articulate to another that of your weirdness. Because here's the thing about it. Talking about your weirdness cleanses it, right? If you talk about your weirdness and somebody is creeped out by it, that's usually a sign that your weirdness needs to get fixed. Is what you right? If you talk about your weirdness and another person gets creeped out about it, right, is often the indication point of the weirdness that needs to get fixed. But the thing is, when others haven't done their shadow work effectively, you end up having a lot of creepy energy come to you, being like, I'm like I don't know myself, but I'm interested in you. Why? I don't know. Oh, that's dangerous. That's dangerous because that's often the space by which I keep on hearing this is non-binary energy, like moving away from intrigue. And this is why I see a lot of the non-binary energy being like intriguing is scary, because the space by which another person is energetically intrigued, right? But isn't in the space by which I keep wondering like the space by which they're not articulating clearly what their manifestation goals are. I keep on seeing that this is energy that says they're not there. I keep on hearing like they're not there to build relationship with someone seeking to scratch their intrigue. Because often in energy that is interested in scratching their intrigue is not building into intentional relationship, but rather building into relationship of curiosity. So that's why I keep on seeing this energy being like, stay away from me. Stay away from me, get away from me. It's like, but this is also what I feel like there's something really supportive about that as well, because I literally see situations where they're speaking to counterpart about this, right? They're working through that ability. They're talking about the difference. Like I feel like they're talking to each other about the difference between like creepy, and I'm not surprised too with the planets that we have direct, talking about the difference between creepiness and weirdness, which is effectively the ability to understand the interest in doing one's shadow work effectively. Bottom of the deck, and I'm not even like and here's the thing about it. I'm going to tell you right now, when you see this spread, I'm not lifting these cards. I'm not going to lift these cards, because that's the thing about it. That's what's happening with the non-binary energy, saying it's not their job to do another person's shadow work for them. So that's why they're just like, no, thank you. I'm just going to leave those there, is what I keep on seeing. Now, the unifying card that we saw that was coming through for all of these right now was, wow, Ace of Swords. And I feel like the nice thing about that, and this is what I like to see, is especially with the Ace of Swords, this is speaking to us directly in relationality to understanding and like do not tell me, please do not tell me that you are going through this retrograde cycle taking anything personally. Don't take anything personally right now. Everybody is feeling like they're going through this retrograde season at their wit's end. Okay? So when you feel like you're at your wit's end, be like, I am going to honor the fact that perhaps the person I'm waiting upon, or the person that's doing something, is simultaneously also at their wit's end. Because what happens when we feel like we're energetically at our wit's end, and we have someone give us the poultice of patience and consideration, amazing things can happen, right? It's not, this is no time for a how dare you moment. Okay. And I know how easy it is. Listen, I know how easy it is because I know everybody's up in their feelies because Jupiter is hanging out in Cancer in retrograde, right? That's a lot of that. Everything hurts more than it typically does. That hurt. Like, yeah, I know. We're all feeling that. Don't take it personally. Take it productively. And the way you can fortify upon something that hurts is by communicating upon why it does. Because often when you say, "Hey, can I just bring something to your attention?" you give someone the ability to say, "Oh my gosh." Right? It's like it allows for the ability by which someone's able to effectively adapt or clarify. So just be mindful of that right now, okay? Because I don't want you, I'm trying to help you. We're at the apex. We're at the apex of this retrograde cycle. We've got like some planets are going to be coming out soon. Just allow it, like allow it to be, like allow yourself to channel the frustration into something that can grow, like something that can be nourished. Not don't be salt in the earth right now. Okay. bottom bottom of the deck on these readings right now. All right, for the right now for the energy, masculine energy, we've got the Ace of Wands in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about that energy right now. So, like I said, there's a lot of ace energy right now around masculine. And I keep on seeing that the thing is when there's a lot of, and I need to point this out, like the space, like the space between frustration and creativity is very fine. And often I keep on like I keep on hearing like the modality, and I keep on hearing it's not the understanding of having to do something that feels like it creates the space of perfection. But I feel like it's like almost allowing, like I feel like there's something about recognizing that often when things go wrong, there is something even more beautiful in the space by which we're able to energetically right them, is what I keep on getting. Which is, and I feel like that's like, like, and I feel like it has to do with the self, you know? Like often I keep on seeing, and this is what we talk about with a Chiron journey. I feel like a lot of masculine energy right now is working through Chiron because the space by which we understand that the crack is where the light gets in, or the space by which we recognize that there's something that we can do better, and then that becomes our new perfect, you know? Like often it is the understanding of the vulnerability that is our greatest gift, because it's the moment that we realize that there's something that we can do better, that we can suddenly put our attention to effectively amplifying and excelling upon. Right? That's why we talk about the need for vulnerability, because we can only find those moments if we allow ourselves to recognize that there's something that we don't know, or there's something that we don't understand. When we don't, the ego doesn't want to do that, right? The ego says, "I said so." The inner child says, "I don't know anything." And masculine somewhere between saying, "I know how to calibrate between those two circumstances." So I feel like there's a lot of the work of the masculine, like that is the shape of the inner child healing. It's like going through that sorting process. While for feminine, I keep on seeing that for feminine energy right now, bottom of the, what am I doing? It's funny because I was about to do bottom of the deck, but did you see how I started to like shuffle the cards? For bottom of the deck for feminine is Queen of Cups. Now I got to stress this right now. There's a lot of queen energy right now around feminine. And the thing about like I need to stress, like the thing about feminine energy is like, and I keep on seeing this, like feminine energy, like I see a lot of feminine energy being like, like working through an energetic frustration point it has to, and remember I said, like, even the space by which this is a continuation of that message of the feminine feeling frustrated, articulating that, saying, even, like, do you know how frustrating it is to recognize that even in the space by which you're doing everything, like, even in the space by which you're doing everything you possibly can, someone will be sitting there in the corner going, you're really not doting on me enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's working through. And I feel like that, to a certain extent, this is feminine energy healing from that, right? Because this is the feminine energy that, almost, if the feminine observes that, I almost feel like the feminine says to themselves, that says more about that person than it does about the self, right? Because I need to point out, like, when we're in a healthy plate, like, the word, what is doting? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Right? It's like, and I keep on pointing this out, like, doting is just feeling, and I need to point out, it's like the ego's urge to have attention drawn towards it, right? It's not productive. So, and I feel like often the space, like, and I need to point this out, like, this is almost the feminine healing that, by saying that when we require attention and we're in a healthy space, our attention has intention behind it, right? That again, when someone's in a healthy space and they ask for attention, it's because there's a need that needs to be met. So what's interesting about it is, for feminine energy, like, that's what I keep on seeing. Like, if they're seeing energy that's working through the space by which another person is upset because another isn't doting upon them enough, they're observing that as an unhealed inner child wound, right? Because what is an unhealed inner child wound? An unhealed inner child wound, and this is often how it needs to be calibrated, is the space by which we are like, the space by which we are able to say that we are in need of something does not require us to have to do a logic problem to figure out what the need is in order to meet it. The only energy, right? The only energy that we give that type of energy to is energy that does not have the capability to articulate upon the need to be met, which is the healthy inner child, right? The healthy inner child is a child that is not conscious of their needs, which is why they can't communicate it. So it's okay to give that type of energy to child energy that is not in a space by which they can articulate their needs correctly. But when we see that in in full grown energy, that is not good. That is not good, because it's often indicative of an inner child wound that hasn't been addressed. So that's why we see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, effectively recognizing and identifying that, I keep on seeing that that's the energy that's not over internalizing it, observing, not absorbing. For non-binary energy right now, bottom of the deck, we've got here the Eight of Cups in its reversal. I feel like it's this is energy that has come to terms with the fact that they will be perpetually misunderstood. I know. I keep on hearing the space by which, I keep on hearing, like, the space by which they often feel energetically misunderstood. I keep on seeing it's the quality or the observation in relationality to, it's the quality or observation in relationality to being able to, I feel like, and this is the thing about it too, I feel like there's something that is really important right now with non-binary energy that is working through not walking away from things, is what I keep on seeing. Because that observation is, I keep on hearing, like, the amplification of moving away from something is all. I keep on hearing, when you walk away from something, you miss the conversation that could be had, right? When you walk away from things, it's the observation of recognizing and identifying. It's like, I keep on hearing, like, I feel like there's a lot of the space by which there's patience that's being created. And I keep on hearing, like, that's what we talk about with patience. The problem with patience is nobody ever has it. I feel like a lot of the non-binary energy right now is going through Aries lessons, because Aries often comes here to realize that like, if you don't have store-bought patience, you can make some yourself, right? It's this and it's amazing because once you learn how to make patience, then you can find it. You can pull it out of anywhere. So I keep on getting. So I feel like there's something that's happening right now in relationality to being patient to the self, and also to being patient to situations. And I keep on saying, even in the state of being patient, understanding. And that's what I said. Like, if we're not being understood, sometimes the solution isn't walking away from things, it's to slow down, is what I keep on hearing. It's to slow down to make sure that another person can keep up with us, is what I keep on seeing. So I feel like there's something about the energy, then like that, effectively trying to work towards finding patience, but also creating patience for situations by which they may have recognized a past version of self would have just like, poof, like would have just moved away from. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Sun card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, December 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Judgment card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll do my best to give you an update on everything we have studied thus far prior to beginning our next class, but the materials are there for you to receive as you're ready to receive them. Now is a great time to join as well, because you have a whole month of lead time to be able to take as many of those classes as you would like to before you join us in the next one. You'll also have access to, if you become a one-on-one chat with me and the other students, to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my Mystic Meditation articles there, which give you updates on everything that we've been seeing energetically in article form. I just wrote one recently on this new Moomy experience. I'll be writing one shortly on the full moon coming up. I also want to let you guys know and invite you to join us this August on a very special tarot retreat. We're having our first inaugural retreat. It will be held in Italy. We are going to be studying. Now, we don't know where the cards originally originated, but we do know that tarot is the birthplace of the tarot in relationality to where the cards first found a foothold. We're going to be studying the cultural significance of the time period by which the cards were found. We're going to study a bit about the Italian culture to understand the relevance to the mytho-symbolic architecture of the cards that is also found in the culture of both the surrounding cultures and the religions that were in that time period, or moving through a lot of those pathworks. We're also going to be doing a lot of work in studying we'll be offering mentorship readings to everybody who becomes a part of that tarot retreat, and we will be practicing our tarot. And all you need to do if you'd like to become a part of that trip is head on over to my stack. You'll be able to find out more about it there. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again